your heart out! You think you can stand against a nerd? You fool! I'll rip your heart out! You think you can stand against... You're in! Nears! Make your prayers! Ah! Your last mistake! You think you can stand against a nerd? You think you can stand this is how it ends.
Hold up. Haven't seen you up here before. What's your business? Witchman? Bloody Mara. Never thought they would get this close. Okay, you can go through to Merosa. Tell her everything. For the sake of the Reach.
Don't cause any trouble now.
Heard the news from Skyrim. They say that Wolf was captured and killed.
He wasn't killed. The dragon came to rescue him.
You're mad, brother.
You alright?
Dragons hated us.
Spit it out.
Time doesn't mean fresh news for the hardy folk of the Devon. Horrific doom befalls the hamlet of Savin.
Oh,
Threatened
such
by
colors.
wild magic. It has been overtaken by death.
Something you need?
On
Not enough handsome men.
Skyrim.
But in all respects, I don't know. Something about living on a big gray bridge isn't alluring for a lot of women, I suppose. Keep safe.
Hammerfell continue to ravage our coast. The orcs still lurk in the countryside, and they are out for blood. Remain within the city. Something you need? The latest flood devastated the settlement of Forlorn. Aye, it is to some. But we're in luck that it always rains in this nine-forsaken dump. All my crops get ample amounts of water, and they love it. As more and more fatalities are reported. Take a peek at the crops. Those ugly little things look like they yearn for the sun. Pray to the Eight for good health. Have a care when traveling the Reach. Dissenters exiled from the realm's military.
Hey, new face, do me a favor, will you? Please, I'll make it worth the trouble. Look, I need some gear, friend. Real fast, like. I'm willing to part with whatever gold I got here. If you agree, that is. Just need you to give the rest of this pouch to a fella named Elrich, down in Arnima. He'll be festering with the rest of our ilk. You know, beggars. You've earned yourself a friend. Anything you need, I mean anything, and I'll return the favor. Just don't go asking while my eyes are at the back of my head. That's my happy time. Sometimes. I yearn for those simpler times, where a cold winter was the worst of our concerns. Returning to those days. Vagabonds, scoundrels, and other miscreants now make up that once extolled right. A mirror to the decadence of the captain, not but virtue and culture and division.
You wanted to speak of Watervane. I've heard the news from the council that his seat in Arnima may be put into question.
Madrisi believes dogs to be disgusting.
Because he and
They
his
don't
guards
even
are
grow
demanding
themselves.
more gold from the merchant,
Always
while also
ruler
becoming more aggressive. No better than thugs. And little Lord does nothing but encourage it.
Hello?
I despise that unsightly man. Every conversation with him is extremely...
Taking care of the spiteful bastards who harass these lands by sending eager mercenaries out to meet them.
Any of our own in that
You
town
could
to
say
keep
I
an
run
eye
a charity for the kingdom.
I have a missionary within the temple.
I've always got contacts coming in, so don't be afraid to stop by and ask. The Reach has never had a day without blood.
You only need to ask.
Yes, just came in.
If I
A
may
werebear
beg my
within the
pardon,
cave far
I
from
shall
here.
return to
I'll mark the
service
location
this
on your
time.
map.
Very well. Make a prayer that
Keeps-
nothing terrible arises from this disorder. It's
Blessings
good to have
upon
gods
you.
listening in times like this.
As someone who serves in the light of the Nine, it is to be expected. The matter is light for someone that possesses your skills, though. I'm in need of a particular sap belonging to a spriggan matron, and I think just one belonging to Allesia. I'm in need of this because, with the help of the other priests, we may be able to concoct some immunity for the pox that spills in from the west. Fantastic. The matron is being sighted just below the Nord's Inn on the north side of the bridge, with other spriggans lurking just beyond. Keep... Dave.
Have we arranged a meeting, or is it your intent to address nobility lacking proper decorum? Speak quickly, lest you rile my temper. Oh, a harbinger of grim news. Not the best first impression. Well, thank you for telling me in advance of my own guards. It was only a matter of time before they spilled further east. Pardon the introduction, yet understand the need for it. We can't have any wandering yokel approach royalty like they're of the same stock. It's not good for the kingdom's image. We'll have the guard there as soon as possible. But for you, are you interested in some coin? We need someone to talk to us. Yes, well, onto the matter. To the east of this bridge lies the town of Ornima, formerly Raven Spring, lest you run into a resident whose mind is stuck in bygone years. Can get confusing, much like everything else in this land. Within Ornima, you will find Jacos, who trains the scout detachment there. He's the only man that I somewhat trust, who's not completely beholden to his lord. Ask him about rumors. Tell him that I sent you. He should understand your intent. We've conducted affairs before. A simple nod from him will be more than enough information for you to infer. You don't need to know any further than that. Now, off you go. Earn a small fortune for yourself. I heard Evermore has many an opportunity to entertain your proclivities. On the stipulation of coin, mind you. Such coin that will be available on your return. I'm no expert nor historian, but what I can tell you should be the same that every reachman would recite when speaking of those savages. Accounts state that this new incarnation of the Witchman appeared near 2 decades back, just after the incident at Munstor. You haven't heard of it either. I feel like I'll be going over the history of every blade of grass in the Reach. I digress. Munstor was an abandoned fort far to the north that has since succumbed to its frozen locale. Peasants, serfs, and other seditious souls had made a great exodus under the cover of night, all leaving their fields, abandoning the lords they were sworn to serve. Of course, when all your labor, thus wealth, absconds in but a moment, there will be tremors. So the lords had sent men to trail these wayward workers all the way to Munstor. What they saw was an ostensibly bizarre affair, both witchmen and peasants forming a decadent commune, many turning to layabouts who engaged in petty pleasures and shirking the labor that had made them. I see you're not one for absorbing the finer details of a conversation. This was before they had all turned feral. Not to say they weren't savage before, but that former identity was ultimately harmless, unlike those you see now. The lords eschewed violence at first, instead opting to subvert the commune, freeing their scum and exiles northward, with the condition that they go live in Munstor. The hope was that the delusional dreamers of that town would abandon their fickle want for equality once extreme personalities had entered their midst. To our utter astonishment, they didn't. These scum that would haunt our societies were either subsumed into the mix or blocked from entry. Leading many to evaluate the true intent of these radicals, we thought they were just pacifists who'd allow any and all into their ranks, which would spell doom for any gathering. Panic-stricken, many lords conspired, finally pushing for the siege that would be that commune's undoing. Cutting off food, digging extensive tunnels to both poison their wells and revealing more avenues for attack. Lastly, clear diplomacy, to impart some reason into those serfs, enough for them to return to civilization and abandon these naive ideals. The lords saw the beneficiaries within Munster, a gathering of hag ravens who were prolonging the siege to impossible lengths. Then crumbs of discontent were found among the militia. Fear gripped the nobility that these ideas could spread to every serf. Nobility, not just from Evermore, but from all over High Rock, sent aid when they heard how severe the crisis was. All of High Rock seemingly united to crush this small town. Yet only a Luddite would think so simply. This was to crush an idea, a canker that'd undo the very world we haven. So the Lord's strength was honed into one blow, throwing all their might at those walls. They fell, and what mercy we would have spared upon those misguided serfs was instead replaced with conviction to stamp out a chaotic ideology. No. They, however, did, to the last man, woman, and child, a Pyrrhic victory in the truest sense. Evermore had lost half its serf class, yet the lords were elated that the existential crisis of revolution was averted. Exceptionally harsh measures were put in place for anyone that even uttered the commune's name, or who dared to evoke the same rebellious sentiments. And so that concludes the tale of Munster. Almost lost myself in another tale. Maybe because that question isn't as easily answered. Bear with me, as what follows can drift into conjecture. Rumors from the nobility in that siege reported seeing figures watching the slaughter unfold in the town, neither part of the kingdom's militia or the defendants. Scouts were dispatched to see who the strange party was, and upon their return they displayed strange idols, with the scouts claiming them as gifts from those shady silhouettes, though their names or identities were never disclosed. Most of the nobility had discarded these charms immediately, except for that wretched Mortifane, who was enamored by that hideous amulet that still wrings his filthy neck. If I could tell you, then we'd already be halfway to a solution by now. That's where my knowledge ends. I hope you enjoyed the tale. It's always a guilty pleasure to recite when the lowborn are acting up. I assume you're new to the Reach and haven't become acquainted with anything further than this bridge, so a brief lesson in geography is in order. Just beyond the southern gate of the settlement lays Sabbath, a town recently ravaged by a mage that was still sniffing out. However, our search was impeded from the risen dead that malcontent left in their wake. It's a possibility, yet I'm not staking any more men on a hope. We're but a fledgling town when it comes to arms. Our guard exists for immediate defense, not to be used in any failed excursion. Farewell.
Hey now,
Never gets tired of seeing him coming to help.
we'll meet again.
Stranger, fancy an extra blade to accompany you through the menagerie that is the Reach? Who said I'm not working for our mum as well? If it makes you feel any better, I spare a little prayer for every unfortunate bastard that happens to meet my axe. Besides, haven't you done just the same thing?
That Maybe poor of vision, but I ain't deaf.
That's for sure. And with you good looking, me's like
Always a spin, huh? Look, I ain't gonna knock you for earning a little extra coin. Not many other options to do so around the reach. Though if you're ever feeling down and you need a rough pauldron to cry on, then I'm your man. Though I've got a little problem with my legs. You see, they can't move unless I rub them with some coin. Say, 500 septums to be exact. So, will you help a poor old codger to walk again?
All right then.
Hello? Tallow spit on you! send you to oblivion myself!
We'll bury an unmarked grave.
I'll rip your heart out!
Ah!
True Nords never back down! Ow!
Looks
The
like
world!
What beast, stalking on its hind legs, treads such a perilous trail to me? Oh, a sensible denizen. You must heal from the wolves of men. Thus, your spirit is one with the fox. Now speak true. What takes you to me? Hircine cast his great bone down to Nern for me to follow. It landed here, and I heeded his call. Roots gestated in the embers of the bone's fall, splitting the outer layer, finding air and sky. The tree reveals this tale, lest you believe I lie, for fox I am not. Progeny, his grasp slipped, and has fallen to that netherworld below the eyes. He stands at the interim between life lost. I seek to have this nomadic spirit, yet to be, retreat from that aimless path. He needs to find home, to find the bosom of his mother. Yet omens have taken to his scent, ravenous in their prowl. They seek the spirit flesh of he, my son, the unsung. The beast god's trials are cruel. You wish to be swallowed into the beast god's great game. The beast god rewards those who triumph over his schemes. Generous are his gifts. In your path yet to be, a hunt harrowing is the trial which steams this black feast. Hounds of hunger, numbering 3, fester the land with their ruin. These are the omens that you must hunt. These are the omens that chain my son. The beast god blinks. His eyes are now mine. He watches above. He knows the image of this map well. And he sees the omens. Here they lay. The eyes return. Now, hunter, I wish you swiftness in this pursuit. Well.
feast from the flesh. Come to the brother.
She hates. Dogs? Did she ever told you?
Excellent work. You've probably helped this region more than you know. I'll use these ingredients to hopefully create a defense against this hill. Here, these tokens of gratitude.